want to change career or you want to continue, you just go for the right one: masters, BSc, PhD, or diploma. Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Dinma, and today I'll be talking about how to apply to universities in Malta as an international student. The first step to take is making decision. You need to first make a decision that you want to study in Malta, and then you make a decision which program you want to go. If you want to go for a BSc or a master's or a PhD. In Nigeria, most of us did courses that we never loved, we never had passion for because of the frustration of jam and post-yearly. And maybe at the long run, you want to change a program. Maybe you say, I did, let me say, history. And what are you doing with history? At this age, at this stage, nothing. Oh, let's say, okay, now you want to change to technology, something like that. You can go for a diploma. Diploma is lower than BSc, but they have what they call advanced diploma, advanced certificates. Some countries have such kind of things. But maybe if you want to go for masters, you think you can go ahead and go for masters in a new course, good for you. But if you think it will be too much for you because you don't even really have idea about it, it's advisable you can go for a BSc or you can go for a diploma. That's the best advice I'll give. So when you think about all this, you want to change career or you want to continue, you just go for the right one: masters, BSc, PhD, or diploma. So once you have decided which to go, the next step is the university that you want to go. The best way to search for this university is by going to Google. Search on your browser, cheapest university in Malta, best technological school in Malta, best medical school in Malta, best human resource school in Malta, the best HR school, and cheap accommodation, cheap tuition. If you just type these things, list of schools will be displayed on your screen. Then you start jotting the schools down on maybe like a piece of paper or something. You get? So when you start jotting, I would advise you, don't just, if you are making decision like searching at some, don't just take one school, take a lot of schools. Because when you take the list of these schools, then you start going to the website of these schools. It is not an easy one. It's not. If you really want to go for a master's, if you want to go abroad to study, you need to learn how to research, because you definitely do it when you get to school. So start learning it now. Going to Google to do all this is called research. So it's still the same thing. You list out the names of those schools displayed on your screen. Then you start going to their website one after the other and start looking at some certain things you need. First, in every school you want to go, you need to look at their funding, their tuition. Is very, very important, because you cannot go way above your budget. So you look at for their tuition. If their tuition is okay for you, if you can afford it, you tick that one. Like, let me say you just write names of school, then you do a table form, put tuition, put cost of living, put educational structure, put something like that. When you look at these schools and the tuition is okay for you, you tick. The cost of living is good for you, you tick. Educational structure is not good, you leave it. So you do all this for the rest of the schools. Then after doing that, then you go check your table back and say, this is the tuition is okay, the cost of living is okay, the educational structure is not okay, the cost tuition is okay, cost of living is not okay, educational structure is okay. When you look at all this, then from there you can then decide the school you want to go. You need to put all this into consideration. Don't just go research a school and then pick the school up and start applying. No. Put some certain things into consideration. Tuition, most importantly. Then the next is cost of living. Then the next, the reviews online. when you go to schools, their website, you see some reviews, what they have been saying, and you can check reviews of school mostly on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, like Alekai now is saying something about people, there are other people that must have said something about that school, that have said something about that country or something like that. So do your research, do your research well, do the research well, so you won't go into that country or to that school regretting why you applied to them. Please, research is very important. There are lists of some schools I will state out in Malta that are very good and okay. These are the schools I was able to research. So you can still go and research more schools. But I'll state out some schools. They're not much, but you still have to go research for more schools in case you do your research in all the schools and they are not okay for you. The tuition is high, the educational structure is not okay for you, things like that. So when I just list them out, you can use these schools for example, and then add some other schools by researching. So the first school on my list is the popular one, University of Malta, and the second is Marcast, Malta College of Arts, Science and Technology. The third is GBS, Global Banking School of Malta. STC Higher Education, Global College Malta, Queen Mary University of London, Malta. This is in Malta, Queen Mary University of London in Malta. These are schools I researched and I had to list them out for you guys to have a list of it. But you can still go on and research more schools for your own good too, so that at least you have options. It's better to have options than just dealing on one school or two. Have options. If possible, apply for different schools. Don't apply for one, apply for like nothing less than 3 schools, so that it will help you a lot. It's better to have options. It's better to have options, please. So all the stages are inquiry stage. When you go to the website of these schools, research everything you need to know about this school. Research them, please. Their tuition, if it's possible. In some schools, sometimes you might get a link in getting maybe international students in that school, or maybe a Nigerian or someone that is from your country, that will give you an honest opinion or honest answers. So after the inquiry stage, when you have gotten maybe 3 to 4 universities that you say no, that you say yes, these 3 universities I'm going to apply to them, or these 4 or 5 universities I'm going to apply to them, the next stage is start applying. So it's your application. The next stage is your application stage. So if you're going for masters, you know what you have to do: your BSc certificate, your BSc transcript, every other thing. Because once you're doing the research in those schools, you also see their requirements for your course application. That means you also see the requirements needed for application. So if it's BSc, you know, it's your WAEC and every other thing. Most schools will ask for English proficiency skills. So if you're from Nigeria, you can use your WAEC, or you can get a letter from your school to show that you were taught in English during your BSc period, or during, so your WAEC, at least in your WAEC, you must have A or B or C in English. The period of inquiry too, you need to also inquire about this English proficiency skills, because some schools might not accept the WAEC or the letter from your school. So maybe if this one of these schools you chose, and they don't want WAEC, and they say no, what we want is IS, or what's this other English certificate called? Duolingo. Yeah, Duolingo. If this is what they want and you cannot get that, or you cannot afford it, or you cannot write the exam, or you cannot sit for the exam, just leave the school. That's why I say research more than one school, so that if this one, the requirements are much for you, or you cannot provide all the requirements, you leave that one and go for the next one. Keep this in mind when making inquiries. Do make inquiries for more than one schools, at least 3 to 4. So after applying, you wait for some time and you get your admission. When you get the admission, the next thing for you to do is payment. Some schools will ask you to pay full tuition, some will ask you to pay deposits, which later you cannot pay instrumentally. For some schools full. So any of these schools, and you also, as you're making inquiries, also make inquiries of how they make payment. So if you cannot make payment for full fees, please look for the one that they make payment by installment. So after your payment, the school will now issue you a visa supporting letter. Sometimes some schools schedule interview for their applicants or candidates. So if they issue interview, best for you, because I guess some of them use this interview to check if you can speak English fluently and if you can understand it. So after payment, they will issue you a visa supporting letter for you to use it to apply for a visa, because you cannot use your admission letter to apply for visa. No, some countries call it acceptance letter. That acceptance letters is what you can use to apply for visa, because because the acceptance letter will show that you have made deposit or you have made fully, and they can give you visa, whatever, just to help you. But if you use a just admission letter to apply, no visa or no immigration officer can grant you that with just admission letter. So after admission, you have to make payment. After payment, a visa supporting letter will be given to you. Then you proceed to applying for a visa. So you can apply through Schengen visa. That is the popular one people use in applying. I will list out the documents needed for applying for this visa. The first is your passport. In Nigeria, we call it international passport. You need to submit a valid international passport. The next is your visa application form. You have to go to the website, download the visa form, then fill the form, and you also, after filling the form together with other documents, you will submit it. The next is the GDPR form. You need to also download the GDPR form, fill it, and submit too. The next is your health insurance. If you go to the website, you also see list of where you can go for you can do your health insurance. Your health insurance should cover from the day you are leaving your country to Malta. The next is you have to book a flight. Booking a flight doesn't mean you have to book a flight and pay. They have a process. You can book free flights. Just to book a flight to show that you have booked a flight, you don't need to make any payment. If you go online and research, you see steps on how to book free flights for visa application. The next is your travel insurance. Before, they normally grant 3 months travel insurance, but presently now it is 1 year. And I know when you read it, it's 30,000 euros. You'll be scared. No, it doesn't mean that you have to pay 30,000 euros. No, it means that the insurance needs to worth 30,000 euros. Not you paying that 30,000 euros, just the worth of that insurance should be 30,000 euros. And the next is bank statement. Before they will tell you to before, the normal process is that you show 3 months bank statement, but presently you have to show 1 year bank statement. And you also need to show your a picture of your bank card. That bank account that you are using, you have to snap the bank card, that's the ATM card, snap it and then send to them. And another one is proof of fund. Proof of fund is very, very, very important. I forgot something. In accommodation, proof of accommodation, some schools give accommodation. Some will require that everybody must get accommodation from them. If the school is giving you accommodation, please take it. But if the school is not giving you, then you have to look for an accommodation. And for your proof of fund, you need to have nothing less than a 12,000 euros in your account. And if you need to know more about this proof of fund, I made a video a few weeks back about how to explain proof of fund and every other thing. Just go watch it. But for this one, the amounts needed is nothing less than 12,000 euros in your account, and the statement of account must be up to 6 months. The application presently is via VFS, and the fee is I think 220 to 300 euros. I'm not sure. Please just confirm it. After applying, then you need, during the waiting period, please use it to prepare for your interview. I think I'll make a video on interview questions for Malta for Schengen visa. I'll make a video about that. So just stay glued to my channel and click on the notification bell so that once I put up the video, you'll be alerted. After the wait and do every other thing, the next thing, once your visa is out, you book your flights, then you look for an accommodation, and also please register for a bus card. You don't need to be in Malta before you register for a bus card. Make sure you register for a bus card while in Nigeria before you enter Malta. These and many more are the steps on how to apply to schools in Malta and visa. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and share. If you have any question, please put it down in the comment section. I'll be ready and available to answer all your questions. Thank you guys for watching.